103.5 FM.
You are the best. Just how many years of existence to keep it up?
Of course, we are the best within a short period of time. We have come so much and, so much far. Last year we've been here for decades and long millions of years because we have all of the best information, entertainment, and of course, educational, backgrounds that we all have to share with you out there this beautiful morning. If you're just joining us, time check is 7:45 on the DOT. Right away here, my name is Obasek with Thompson. Joining me this beautiful morning is Sharon Amtiga Ita. Good morning, Sharon, and welcome to the Morning Boss Show.
Good morning, Thompson. For sake of correction, 7:54.
Yeah, I just say 7:55, like 7:54.
Anyway, it is where I understand. I understand. Good morning.
Yeah, but when you say for the sake of correction, you see, I've just said straight to the time, because you already came in late. Go ahead and apologize and let's move on.
I've told her to do now.
Yeah, just go ahead. We're waiting.
You want to buy three first.
Yeah.
Anyways, good morning, guys. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, friends. Good morning to everyone listening in. I apologize for coming late. A lot is going on.
I really love that part where you have to apologize for coming in late, though.
Please, a lot is going on, and I'm doing a lot of things that I cannot say on air for sake of my own privacy. But I make sure that I'm definitely come here. And it's not making a promise.
Okay, so right away here, let's quickly take you through. We just hope that is something the Lord can actually handle, but handle very, very properly. Okay, so all right, so right away here, let's quickly take you through the exchange rate right away. Okay, so
Sun is away, like a magnet on me. I don't care what they say, we can do it our way. And if love's just a game, then come and play. I'll be there. Meet me on the floor tonight. Show me how to move like the water. In between the dots and lines. Be mine, be mine. Be mine. I wanna get lost in your ocean and drown. I wanna be careless and free. I wanna live here with the moment we found. I wanna be all that you see. Tomorrow can wait, wasting time in this place. Till the sun is awake, be like a magnet on me. I don't care what they say, we can do it our way. And if love's just a game, then come and play. I think meet me on the floor tonight. Show me how to move like the water. In between the dots and lights. Be mine, be mine. Be mine. Meet me on the floor tonight. Show me how to move like the water. In between the dots and lights. Be mine, be mine.
For the very best in music, information, entertainment, and education. Stay locked onto Unicool Radio International, 103.5 FM.
We were good, we were gold. Kind of dream that can't be sold. We were right till we weren't. Built a home and watched it burn. I didn't wanna leave you, I didn't wanna lie. Started to cry, but then remembered I can buy myself flowers, write my name in the sand, talk to myself for hours.
Miley Cyrus. Welcome back from that break. Time check is 15 minutes past our the 8, and you're still tuned into the Morning Bus Show right here on Unico Radio International, 103.5 FM Calabar, Cross River State, Nigeria. Like you already know, my name is Igwe Vine Henshaw, and it is my delight to be joining you this morning. A bit late, but like they say, better late than never. And I'm pretty sure that Thompson and Obi Sharon were doing a good job keeping you company as you get through your day, whether you're going to work, going to school, or just running errands. I'm
Can
pretty
we
sure.
rewind?
What?
Can we rewind?
To
Thompson and Obi Sharon.
I said
20
Thompson.
he didn't add 2027. No, he didn't say 2026.
Okay, that was what was missing. Okay, 20.
Can never be. Only there. Only it.
But why are you putting that in his mind?
I
That wasn't
don't
what he
know.
was
I
talking
still
about.
said Thompson and Obi Sharon. Let's understand the mixture is not.
No. He said
Stumble
Obi
back.
Thompson and Sharon.
Maybe, like I say,
Sharon, I don't think you're hearing well today.
That's what you said.
Basically.
See,
It's
see,
well,
if our
I'm
listeners
pretty
would
sure-
directly talk.
okay.
You
I'm
said
pretty
7:45. I said it's
I'm
7:54.
pretty sure I said Obi Thompson and Sharon. So if you want Obi and Thompson
let
and
me
Obi
be mad.
Sharon, no
Jesus.
problem. I'll give it to you. So I'm pretty sure that Thompson and Obi Sharon did a great job keeping you company
Go
as
back
you
to the
went
live
through.
stream, and I will
through
go back to the
your
live stream. That's
day.
my proof.
So let's go to
Anyway, right now we're moving straight to the next segment of the show, which is the health and wellness segment. Like you already know, we love to keep you informed about your health. It's very important that you stay healthy and strong because the rate at which illnesses, sicknesses, diseases are, looming and roaming around is just so pathetic. So it's very important that we keep you informed about things that you can do to stay healthy and strong every single day. And today Sharon has something for us. So Sharon, take it away.
Okay, so today we're talking on the health risk of taking excessive junk food. Now, I told you that
Oh God have mercy.
today is National Junk Food Day. It's a day to indulge. But now I'm telling you that as you are indulging, do it small. Now, junk food refers to foods that are high in calories, unhealthy fats, added sugars, and salt, but low in essential nutrients such as vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Common examples include burgers, fries, pizza, sugary drinks, pastries, chips, and processed snacks. While eating these foods occasionally is unlikely to cause any harm, frequent consumption can have serious health consequences. Now, some of them include excessive weight gain and obesity. Junk food is often calorie dense and easy to overeat. Regular consumption can lead to excessive weight gain and obesity, increasing the risk of chronic diseases. It also increases the risk of heart disease. Many junk foods contain high levels of saturated fat, trans fat, and sodium. These can raise bad cholesterol, that is LDL, low density lipoproteins, lower good cholesterol, the high density lipoproteins, and increase blood pressure and contribute to heart disease and stroke. It can also lead to higher risk of type 2 diabetes. Foods high in refined carbohydrates and added sugars could cause rapid spikes in blood sugar. Over time, this can lead to insulin resistance, increasing the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. It could also lead to poor digestive health. Most junk foods are low in dietary fiber, which is essential for healthy digestion. A low fiber diet may lead to constipation, poor gut health, and an imbalance of beneficial gut bacteria. It could also lead to a lot of nutritional deficiencies. Replacing balanced meals with junk food deprives the body of essential nutrients such as vitamins, minerals, proteins, and healthy fats. This can weaken the immune system, reduce energy levels, and impair normal body function. It could also lead to liver damage. Excessive intake of sugary beverages and processed foods, especially those containing high fructose, can contribute to accumulation of fat in the liver, increasing the risk of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. It could also lead to a lot of dental problems. Sugary snacks and drinks encourage the growth of bacteria in the mouth, leading to tooth decay, cavities, and gum disease. And trust me, toothache is not something you want to handle because it could equally make you want to run mad, alongside ear infection and all. So please, as much as possible, indulge small to avoid problems like this. It can also have a lot of mental health effects. Research suggests that diets high in processed foods are associated with a greater risk of depression, anxiety, mood swings, and poor cognitive performance. Nutrient poor diets may also affect memory and concentration. To people that there are people that get anxious and depressed, and the next thing they do is to start consuming a huge amount of junk food. You start seeing them downing a lot of foods that are not beneficial to their health. So it also leads to poor skin health. Frequent consumption of high sugar and high fat foods may worsen acne and inflammation, and also contribute. It also affects the overall skin appearance. Now, healthy alternatives. I cannot just leave your hand in and say, okay, this is bad, this is bad. So now, what are we going to eat now? Okay, instead of relying on junk food solely, choose fresh foods and fruits, vegetables, whole grains such as oats, brown rice, and whole wheat bread. Lean proteins like fish, chicken, beans, and eggs. Also, nuts and seeds in moderation. Homemade meals prepared with less salt, sugar, and unhealthy fats. Water, unsweetened tea, or fresh fruit smoothies instead of sugary drinks. Junk foods may be convenient and appealing, but excessive consumption can negatively affect nearly every system of the body. Making healthier food choices and limiting processed foods can help maintain a healthy weight, reduce the risk of chronic disease, and improve overall well-being. You heard it here. I'm not against you indulging. I'm not against you consuming junk food. I'm not against you eating what you want to eat. Especially now that some people have finished exams or concluding exams and they just want to chill, get some stuff and enjoy themselves, watch a movie, just indulge basically. But as much as you do that, also realize that it could also have a lot of health risk if you do them excess and if you do them every time. So today is that day where you buy the pizza, the shawarma, the ice cream you want to buy, the dessert, the ice cream sundae you want to buy. But as you are indulging, do it small, small. And don't make junk food your daily bread.
Yeah, and we said that Nigerian students are those set of persons that we can literally give an award comfortably and say yes, you
This one they
guys.
are coming for Malabite and Malabite.
No, I say Nigerian
Kilo
student.
day.
I specifically did not say
But
Malabite and
I
Mal
think
because Nigerian students.
the ear infection that spoke about, I think you have it. Anyway, I believe that what's it
God, I
called now?
beg.
Junk food
Yeah.
is not even cheap to
Yeah,
begin
it's
with.
not cheap.
It's
These
not even
days,
cheap.
oh,
Yeah, it's not because
Ha.
before you get shawarma, get a box of pizza, ice cream.
French fries.
You must have cost you an arm and a leg. So instead, you should look for healthier things, healthier alternatives.
just like you said, home food,
Just
homemade
cook
food.
afang
Yeah.
soup instead of buying pizza. Cook afang soup.
Afang soup service is it still something for the poor? Afang soup
And
these days is for the rich.
you can do the one for the poor. For everything, there's the one for the rich and the one
There's
for
the
the
one for the
poor.
rich, the one for the
Exactly. So
poor.
do the one that your pockets can
Just
reach.
remove the meat inside.
Excuse. So what are you saying? Remove the meat
Remove
and put
the meat
what?
and
Egg.
just eat it like that.
So use,
Oh my God.
use crayfish.
I'm trying to make it budget friendly
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
Exactly. See, the meat and the pomo is the one that is causing the.
So now, what's the broth that you use to cook the soup?
Just use
This is
Water.
the sign of people that
crayfish.
cannot cook. This is
Crayfish.
the sign
Those-
of people that cannot
No,
cook.
when you buy crayfish, don't pound it.
Oh Jesus!
pick
That's
it.
the way straight village don't reach me.
And
Don't
use the
straight
crayfish as meat.
What do we now use as the broth for
No,
the
use
afang?
ordinary water now. The afang, use afang water.
Jesus Christ.
So instead of using water leaf, just use water.
You listening to me right now, so that tomorrow somebody will not give you this kind of advice. Repeat after me. Put your hand on your chest. Say, "I will never be poor." Very good. Anyway, that's how much you can take on the health and wellness segments. We're going back to the music. When we come back, we're moving straight to the people and culture segment of the show. This is Dynamite by BTS. Stay very close to your radio sets. We'll be back before you know it.
Stop tonight. So much me.
by BTS. Welcome back from that short music break. The time check is 27 minutes past the hour of 8, and you already know what time it is. It's time for the People and Culture segment right here on the Morning Bus Show on Unicorn Radio International, 103.5 FM Calabar, Cross River State, Nigeria. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of the People and Culture segment, it's very important that we celebrate people that are born today, and we have a very special birthday shout out to give today. So let's call the person and wish the person a happy birthday. Hopefully this person is very close to their phones, and they're not busy doing birthday runs like buying cake. And speaking of junk food, say it's your birthday.
Yeah, it was outside. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Please, is this Mr. Alex Nkoro?
Yes.
Okay, so we're calling you from Medical Radio. We heard today is your birthday.
Oh, yes.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday,
Mr. Alex.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Can you guess who gave us your number to call you?
I really cannot.
Are you sure?
Ah. Oh, please help me.
let Mr. Alex complicate himself. Please just tell him the person.
Okay, so Thompson told us to call you today, Mr. Obi Thompson. Do you know this individual?
Oh.
Good morning, President Alex Nkoro.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, my brother.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday from all of us at
Yeah.
Unicorn
I'm
Radio.
grateful.
Wish you long life and
Thank you.
prosperity. Wish you every good thing that life has to offer.
Amen. God
Enjoy
bless
the
you.
rest of your day.
All right, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Go and guess. Why you go and guess somebody that will put in that problem?
There was this show. There's usually this show that
On Valentine's
when
Day.
someone called, and then you have to guess who. Man, that guy went and called someone else.
Jesus.
Your
And they went
boyfriend
on and
Jay,
said,
call
"Oga,
her.
please, thank you for saving me.
Oh.
I wanted to send a gift. I just wanted to start from here, man. I was like, that Saturday was like, are you you guys being serious?
More often than not, when people say guess the person, they'll say I cannot guess. Don't put in that
Just
problem.
say you cannot guess.
Before you not hear which one.
Yeah.
I beg go.
Well, anyways, let's move straight to the People and Culture segment. I have a very interesting one. I stumbled on a video on the ABBA Women's Riot, as they would like to call it. But no, it was a war. It was the Women's War of 1929. Now, a lot happened back then. I think this is one of the significant moves of femininity in Nigerian history. So, back then, when we were, still in the colonial era, in late October 1929, there were lots that was going on. A lot of taxing, abuse, violence with women and everything. They were already taxing men, already asking them for money. And on one fateful day, a warrant chief, as they would like to call them then, the warrant chiefs are the ones that collect tax from individuals. They're the ones assigned by the colonial masters to collect tax from individuals. Now, they wanted to tax women. So this particular warrant chief went to a lady's house. Her name is Unwa Yerua. In late October 1929, he went to her house and asked her to count her properties, her goats, her sheep, chicken, children in her house. And this lady knew what was going on. There were rumors about the fact that they were about to tax women. And you know, funny, it wasn't fair because women weren't given equal rights to work. Some of them did not have any means of livelihood. Some of them were feeding from their hands to their mouth, and it was a whole lot for them then. They weren't given as much rights as we are given now. So taxing them would just be plain out wickedness because they didn't have what to even eat off of and remain. Talk more of taxing them to collect the small money that they've managed to work for. And so it was unfair. And there were rumors that they would impose tax on them. So when this particular warrant chief came to this lady's house in Oloko, she said, according to history, he said, "Did you tax your widowed mother too?" And this caused uproar. The warrant chief started arguing with her, started fighting her. Then at some point in time, also proceeded to beat her up. Now, when the warrant chief finally left, the lady went to other women and told the women that they are planning on taxing them. They are planning on asking for a huge amount of money from what they are from what they're already earning. They're planning on taxing women, widows, wives, traders. First of all, the economy was even rough for the common Nigerian man because of the fact that the British wanted to collect their own quota. We were under British rule, like the heavy hand of a British rule, British administration was already hard enough as it was. And so these women use palm fronts to send messages. They passed palm fronts from one woman to the other, and each woman that got these palm fronts knew what to do. They knew what exactly they needed to do, and so they converged. All of them converged together, went to the leader, the administrator, went to his house, went to the royal chief's house, and kept making noise until he finally surrendered. They kept making noise. They banged their pots, did everything they're supposed to do. They burnt courts. They burnt a lot of things that were supporting the taxation. They disturbed the men that were responsible for it and made sure that they will not sleep. After all, they say there's no sleep for the wicked. So we had I think it spread from Oloko. It spread to places like Ibibio. It spread to the Andoni people. It spread to around the southeastern region. Women came from where they were, up to 1,000, more than 1,000 women came from where they were to make sure that their voice was heard. At the end of the day, there was a colonial inquiry made, and the white men sat down and listened to the women. The women said they were being abused. There was violence in the land, and they wanted to tax them a very huge amount of tax for little amount of money that they managed to succumb. So basically, a lot was going on. But before there was a colonial inquiry, armed men decided to partake in this war. They shot at unarmed women, and up to 50 women lost their lives. And then others were injured, from this particular war. But then, after everything had happened, there was a colonial inquiry, and then there was conversation between the colonial master and these women. And
Dialogue.
at the end of the day, the taxation dropped. A lot of things, violence reduced, abuse reduced in the land. Now, this is the entire summary of the About Women's Riot. But then, it made me think about this. If women could just use palm fronts to send messages and to converge together, up to over 1,000 women from different tribes came together to make sure that this oppression that they want to do to them, because imagine succumbing to the fact that you have to pay huge amount of tax. You have to pay huge amount of money. From the small money that you're trying to get, some of them were widowed and they don't have men to even support them to start with, and we're already taxing men. So it was a whole lot. And imagine the fact that they were able to pass messages through palm fronts. We that have technology and a lot in our hands, what are we doing with
Now let me come in there. And I'm not trying to take the attention away from the About Women riots, but I'm just trying to relate it to our reality as Nigerians. Now, 1,001 people, 1,000,000 people, 1,000,000,000 people can come together and work towards one cause if everybody has the same mind. If everybody, have the same heart as one another. When there is this unity, when somebody's trying to protect their own selfish interest instead of the good of the group, there's always going to be a problem. Now, these women came together with one heart. They had one goal, and they knew that they would stop at nothing to achieve that goal.
Yeah.
And that goes to show you that anything is achievable. Anything is achievable if only we all work together as one. When there's no asunder, when there's no disunity, we all can work together as one. But when one person is trying to, be two-faced, trying to protect their own selfish interest, and all of that, there's always going to be sabotage, and we cannot move forward.
Also, this
and
story
interesting
brought
how
out
they were able to achieve their aim, because at the end of the day, despite the violence, the uprising forced and colonial government, they have to abandon that particular plan of taxing on those women, and they actually initiated limited reforms. And that also reminds me, just I think yesterday I was reading a particular story about the governor of Cross River State saying no taxation on women,
And elderly drivers.
and elderly drivers and all of that. Well, I think this really came to me as a wow, that's interesting, and it's really going to be very helpful though.
I also brought out the fact that there is power in femininity. Now, there's this new wave of feminism
Okay.
that we should actually debunk. Women are now using feminism to oppress the men. And feminism is now turning to misandry.
Misandry.
It's turning to misandry. Men that don't have anything to do, they don't abuse women and anything. They are now under the same
So now the
general
question
focus.
now is, at what points did we lose the fundamental essence of feminism?
I feel like is when forgive me for saying, when some Gen Z
I know.
when some Gen Z individuals started to twist it
Mm.
and make it look like as if it was all men that was against them. Now, yes, when our ancestors were still around, women were not allowed to do some things.
Some are still existing till now. No.
Women were not allowed to do some things. Women were not given equal rights to get jobs. They were not given equal rights to education. They weren't given equal rights to even vote. They weren't given rights to engage
Be
in
voted for
exactly.
elections
And so they
Driving
were
a car.
exactly
That's how
yeah.
ridiculous it was.
But feminism now came about in century, started from the 19th century, and it was for equal rights to some certain things. I keep on
That's
saying
equity.
we can't be equal because man's biological composition is different from the lady's composition. There are some things a man can do, a woman can't do. There are some things a woman can do, a man cannot do. There are some pains a woman can experience, the man cannot. Everyone has their role to play in the society, and we can't be equal on that basis. But the feminism was for equal rights to things like voting, going to school, attaining some particular positions that a man a man with the same qualification will attain. As long as a woman has this set of qualifications, she has the right to get this position, get this job, not because she's a woman. No, now the jobs were not. You're giving her a job not because of her gender, but because of her qualifications, her capabilities for some things. That was what feminism was for: equal rights for women to stand in society and have a voice to speak, not to oppress the men or make them feel uncomfortable. The thing is just it's now spiraling out of control. People are now using the thing against some innocent men, to be very honest. I've seen a lot of things online and offline, and I'm like, this guy legit did not do anything to you.
Okay.
He didn't do anything to you. He's just on his own. There's a lady that wanted to make a guy look like he wanted to abuse her. The guy just asked a simple question. She's like, "Oh, I know people like you. Oh my God. You before you know now, you will tell me to come to your house." And in my head, I'm like, he just asked a simple question. I've heard a lot of things. I want to charge every woman to go back and do every woman that is championing this new generation feminism. Go back, do your research, check Nigerian history. The feminists that were there then, they knew what they fought for. People like Margaret Ikpo, people like Ransom, Funmilayo Ransome Kuti, they knew what they fought for. They fought for women's rights to be in places of power, women's rights for franchise, women's rights for freedom of expression, to be educated to a certain extent, women's right to dignity of person, to live normal lives. It was not meant to compromise the rights of the opposite gender. So we need to do our research and know what we are fighting, know what we are championing, know what we are fighting for. That's what I charge every woman, so that the thing that was used as a weapon for good will not be used as a weapon for bad. Now,
do you realize that the modern day or the present day feminism is actual madness? Now, I was speaking with a girl, that was some years back, and she told me her motto was "I hate men," and she was not even kidding about it.
Yeah.
She hates
a lot of persons do.
men.
I have,
like, she says it every time on her status. She's always bashing men, how men are pigs, how men are this, how men are that. And so on one day, she posted the photo with a man, all loved up and cuddled. I'm like, okay, this is a man biologically, except maybe but what I can see, this is a man. And she goes, not all men are the same. I'm like, do you see that you're actually crazy?
You're a good
Like, do you see that you're crazy? You have male friends, you're dating a man, your father is a man, and you love your father to death.
You
but
have your
somehow you actually generalize that all men are scum, all men are this and that.
Because somebody
Is
says
not
that, I'm like,
madness?
someone's like, I thought all men were scum. I'm like, no, hold up. I know there are men that misbehave, but please don't generalize this. Because if it's brought to the women's table now, they say, oh, all women are this, all women are that. The next is some women are like, they now start doing the femininity thing where like, don't be blaming women for the fact that you don't have a girlfriend that is good and everything. The next thing they bring up femininity and they say, oh, men always know how to bash the women and everything. When if a man says I hate women, the man automatically is a man against feminism, femininity, and all. But when it's the other way around, it's supposed to be accepted. Now, there's misandry, there's misogyny. Both of them are as bad.
Thing is, I've come to realize something, and that thing is, some people that call themselves feminists, I mean the modern day type of feminism, don't actually know the nitty-gritty of what feminism is all about, and they're just doing it because it's a trend. If you open Twitter, oh my god, I hate men, I'm like, oh, that's a new cool thing. Okay, let me just say this so I can be cool. Yes, and that's how crazy our generation is.
If you look well, these women are against other women. If you look well, actually, the ones that are supporting it, feminism wasn't based on hatred for men. Let's just get that out of the way.
Misandry, and misandry is on its own. Feminism is on its own. Like
different.
It's not mixed together at all.
Some of these women are against other women. There was a lady that was another lady that was standing where she was. This girl wanted to get something. Wanted to get pouch for her phone. And this guy was like, this is this brand. She said, no, it's not this brand. This is my phone now. This is the brand that's supposed to be that it is. She now said, after arguing with the guy, she said, don't worry about it. It's fine. Leave it. Since you want to argue my phone brand with me. And then she turned to leave. No insults, no while and nothing. This lady now came and was like, why would you talk to a man like that? Why would you talk to a man like that? The man is trying to feed. The man is doing a lot of things. Why would you talk to him like that? You're supposed to bend your head out talking to a man. You're supposed to not disrespect the man. And the girl was like, this is a fellow woman. You saw everything that happened. This man tried to swindle me. This man tried to scam me. And you are supporting him, saying that, and will I talk to my father like that? Is that how I'm supposed to behave towards it?
Well, that there is what I'll call societal conditioning, right? Some women have been conditioned that way, and as much as we want to believe that those times have passed, but the people have not passed. No, the times have passed, the people have not.
That was how
they are now
the
transparent.
have passed. I say no,
they are still around.
They are still around.
Passed, but some debris of that time they still exist.
They call it morals. They call it their morals. Talking about moral dissidence or respect to especially the male.
And the thing is, in Nigeria, the context of respect, that's the conversation I want to have. The context of respect just stings my soul.
We actually need to tell the millennials that speaking up is not a form of disrespect. There's nobody knows everything. Nobody will be perfect in anything. But there's some things we will not stand for. And when they say, oh, the next thing they will say is, oh, this is new generation, this Gen Z.
Oh, yeah, the new generation.
They be like, we tend to disrespect.
In my time, this will never happen. Your time has passed, sir.
That's what I've passed.
Long gone.
There's some things we will not condone at all. I saw a video. This girl they were queuing up for voters card to get their voters card. They were registering for it. These old people were sitting down there. The lady kept shouting. She kept shouting, we have been standing here since. You have children in your house. If your children are here, then somebody that wanted to interrupt her, another girl was like, don't insult her. And she was like, I'm not insulting her. I'm saying my mind. I'm not insulting her, I'm saying my mind. She was like, if this was your children that was here now, would you allow us stand here? People that came in from the back, that just came in, you collected money and they're not doing it. Is this how you people want to change Nigeria? This is why you want to vote people like you outside. She talked a lot. I didn't hear any form of insult to the woman. I didn't hear any form of insult at all. It was just plain out. She said her mind. in a place of anger. And it's now in this time it is actually very hard most of the times for you to be angry and still make your point without insulting somebody. It's only people with trained emotional intelligence, people that have decided that consciously they will not insult people that they're trying to,
because
state their
if
point
you ask
to.
me, it's absolutely unnecessary to
Exactly.
do that. But this older ones, and we respect them, no doubt, but they need to respect themselves as well, because I think respect is something that happens when you respect yourself. Because when you respect yourself, other people will respect you. But
Yeah.
when you do not respect yourself, you're prone to disrespecting another person, and that's what the problem is. I was in a cab the other day, and a very fat lady was okay. Two fat ladies came in, and they were literally pressing me. Like I was being I was assaulted, guys. I was
I've been in
assaulted.
that position
And I
a
now
couple of
spoke up
times.
and I said, this bus is actually so tight. And she goes, like, say your mama no fast for house. No, 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 no,
Don't
no,
go
no,
there,
no,
oh.
no. We don't used to play like that, so we don't used to play like that over here.
See me here, do what you're
We
doing.
don't
Don't
used to
go
play
there.
like that over here. Like, how did we move from here to here so quickly? That's a form of insult, right?
Okay.
And they cannot take what they dish out, and that's the problem. The context of what's it called now, respect in this African society is just twisted and somehow.
Yeah.
But also, the subject matter is feminism.
Yeah.
We should know. I think every man and every woman should know, the cause, the
Do your
fundamental essence of feminism. You shouldn't just follow trends in social media, because one thing about trends is it will go.
You know one thing I realized? Some people just end up staying and talking and they don't know the basis of what they're
That's
saying.
why I said trends.
Exactly.
When they come on Twitter and people are saying, I hate men too. Oh. And that is it.
There's one thing
Motivational speaker.
There's one thing I would draw out from what my lead pastor said. Know your beliefs. Question your beliefs.
So you see the counter when I look away. So you turn around, but it wasn't your face. Said I need to be alone now. I'm taking a break. Come and I return you. Gone away.
Staying informed starts here. We bring you the key headlines driving today's news and shaping perspectives across the nation. This is the News Flash on Unicorn Radio International, 103.5 FM Calabar, Cross River State, Nigeria.
It's 9 a.m. Good morning, Calabar, and welcome to News Flash on Unical Radio International 103.5 FM Calabar. My name is Albert Keller. Here are the top headlines of the hour. We begin in Cross River State. Governor Bassi added a two brokers' peace over Cross River Central senatorial ticket crisis. On the national scene, EFCC debunks viral secret recruitment rumors and urged Nigerians to ignore false claims. On the foreign scene, 17 U.S. troops killed as Trump orders strong response against Iran. In entertainment and lifestyle, Very Dark Man links Davido fallout to alleged 50 million naira campaign offer. And lastly, in sports news, Chelsea completes 6-year deal for England star Morgan Rogers. Details of all of this news and more coming up this afternoon by 1 p.m. on Unical Radio International 103.5 FM Calabar. If you have news reports from your area hostels department and faculties, please do well to call our news hotline on 0809 444 4058. You can also follow us on all social media handles on Facebook. We are Unical Radio International. On Instagram, TikTok, and X, we are Unical Radio. Listen to us anywhere around the world online at unicalem.net. And please do away with any form of discrimination and nepotism as we strive to build a united nation. And always remember, as Malbite, Malbretters, and Cross Riverians, we are known for reasonable action. My name is Albert Keller. Many thanks for listening to stay tuned for the rest of the morning buzz with Vine Henshaw, Obi Thompson, and Sharon. Good morning.
Welcome back from that break. Time check is 8 minutes past the hour of 9, and it's still the morning bus show right here on Unico Radio International, 103.5 FM Calabar, Cross River State, Nigeria. It's your favorite voice of life on radio. We have Obi Thompson, Sharon, and of course myself, Vine Henshaw. And right now, we're moving straight to the next segment of the show, which is the top story segment. Like you already know, we love to begin with the university community. We have that Professor Samuel Okoniyang, elected Dean, Faculty of Physical Sciences. The University of Calabar Faculty of Physical Sciences has elected Professor Samuel Okoniyang as the new Dean of the faculty. Professor Samuel Yang was recently elected at the Faculty Extraordinary Faculty Board meeting held at the Chemistry Laboratory 1. The letter signed by the Director, Faculty Officer, Secretary to the Board, Mrs. Glory, states that the tenure is for a period of 2 years with effect from July 7th, 2026 to July 6th, 2028. By this appointment, Professor Samuel Okoniyang is to be accorded all necessary courtesies and support due the office. Once again, congratulations. This is from the Public Relations Unit, University of Calabar. What do we make out of this?
Yeah, so quickly, I just want to say big congratulations to him. Yeah, I just got the post and the information. I was like, wow, that's interesting. Back in the days where you have to stay for a very long time, we don't see publications of those actually appointed into new positions. And then it seems to us that people who have been there for a very long time, or they say, never knew. It was just of recent I knew that, it's just a period of 2 years for heads of departments, at most 3, and then the same period of time for deans and all of that. But usually we see how a lot of persons have to stay in a particular position for too long and all of that. I think it's quite important for us to see how new people are actually involved into the system. New people are also given that privilege and opportunity to serve, and then not having just one person stay, and then they'll be, retaining that person. No, it doesn't give opportunity. Though sometimes it happens because there are no other persons, qualified, because you must meet certain criteria. You must meet certain criteria for it to be, given those appointments
Leadership
and all of that.
opportunities.
And let's not also forget that it has to do with election, right? So once you're being voted in,
Sometimes actually appointments.
yeah,
Sometimes.
it's appointment, but a lot of persons will have to still come to vote. Yeah, just to fulfill
More
our
like a
righteousness.
consensus.
Yeah, to fulfill our righteousness. Okay, yes, this person have been there. It's just like also seize this opportunity to also say big congratulations to Dr. Igwe Robert, the new Tia Robert head of department for my own department. It's such a wonderful time to see how young persons are also given opportunity to also serve and thrive equally with the older ones, that have learned from for a very long time, and see how best they can also be able to, put their own quota, into play.
Well, there's something I've come to realize in civil service, and that thing is, even if you're a young person and you're qualified, there is a social, should I call it a social queue, where you have to wait for the people that were there before you to actually attain this position before you attain, even if those people are not qualified. But because they've been there before you longer than you have been, that gives them automatic qualification to attain that leadership role.
No, if you're not qualified, even if you've been there for a very long time,
Thompson, let's talk about the reality.
No, but
let's
on
talk about the reality.
In reality,
at some point in time, to be deemed disrespect, to be deemed disrespect for you to have a higher
younger
position.
exactly.
That's why you see that of the president of Nigeria. By the time they look at the Nigerian police, for instance, like the current IG, normally, if they must follow a real due process, he should not be where he is today. Do you understand? But they have to retire a lot of AIGs, for them to pave way, for him to be where he is today. Even the previous in fact, right from when this particular political party took over, the days of Buhari till date, both the IG, the service chiefs, a lot of them, when he talks about real merit and qualification, that okay, because of you served for a very long time, then you should have to, take over this position. A lot of persons will actually retire to give or pave way for them to be appointed into.
But that there are systems or there are situations where people say, I must be the
Be
head
the
of the
one.
department. I must be the leader. Whatever it takes. I'm not retiring from this service, from this commission, until I am leading or heading this
Baton
commission.
range.
Yeah, at that point in time, I think those kind of presidents, we call them Otumakbe.
It's my turn.
And you look
Let's-
cool.
Yeah, it has happened. It has happened like that in some departments, in some faculties, but I don't think here in the school anywhere I've actually come across that. Even if I've heard of it, but I've not actually witnessed it. But there again, yeah, it has happened in some departments, in some faculties where a lot of persons feel like I must be there because they think not knowing. See,
not because you're worthy, not because you're qualified, but because
It's
know
not-
you
it's
just
not-
be there longer.
yeah.
Turn
you
it to
must
a
be there.
bet right now. Like, okay, you served already. Or you move now. It's my turn. Let's serve also. It's now turning to an entitlement thing.
Yeah.
Forgetting the
especially
main point.
especially when it gets to the points where people begin to say, after all, I am from here. They begin to
Yeah,
play,
being tribe into it.
tribe that, oh, I am from here. And because it is my person who is in quotes, maybe the VC. And so because of that, automatically, if he wants to favor anybody, then
He
it
has to
should be
favor
me.
somebody from
Not
his tribe.
minding the fact that there are other qualifications that you need to meet. Okay, before you could be a
Being
head
from
of
the same
department.
tribe is not even a
not a
qualification to begin
qualification.
Yeah,
with.
that is where some of those persons comes with that kind of notion that, oh, it is my turn.
The main
It doesn't
qualification-
matter, and all of that it must be me.
The
and
main
all of
qualification
that.
should be I have the qualities. I have what it takes to lead these individuals. I have what
In
it
today's
takes.
leadership system, are we looking at what we were taught in primary school that the quality of a good leader? Come on.
I have what it takes to communicate properly with lecturers and students under me. Well, congratulations to the new dean of physical sciences. We actually hope that you
Just like the
step into
letter
that
convey.
mantle and do what needs to be done. Also, possess the qualities of a good leader in that space because it's needed in every faculty in University of
Yeah, and
Calabar.
the faculty of physical science is
Sciences,
actually
yeah.
very heavy
Yes.
faculty. So let's hope that he does his best to move the faculty forward. Now, moving on, we have police seeks assistance to reunite teenager with family. The Cross River State Police Command has appealed to the public to assist in identifying the family or relatives of an 18-year-old woman, Justina Okon, who was found wandering around the Tinapa Junction area of Calabar. According to a press release issued on Monday by the Police Public Relations Officer, ASP Ethiopia Sunday Akata, the teenager was discovered at about 10:35 a.m. on Sunday, July 20th, by a Good Samaritan, Mr. Basio Kon, who promptly alerted the police. The command said the young woman, who speaks English, Pidgin English, and Anang, was unable to provide a coherent account of herself or give enough information to help officers trace her family or guardian. The police said despite efforts to identify and locate her relatives, the search has so far been unsuccessful. The release added that she is currently under the protective custody of the Akbai Onim Police Division in Calabar, where she is receiving care pending her identification and reunification with her family. The command called on anyone who recognizes Justina Okon or has useful information about her parents, relatives, or guardians to report immediately to the officer in charge of the Ikbai Onim Police Division or the nearest police station, reiterating its commitments to protecting lives, providing humanitarian assistance, and working with the public to ensure the young woman is safely reunited with her family. She's 18 years.
When I saw the
She's
post,
18
Something's
years.
not
yeah,
adding up
as soon as
for
I
me.
just saw 18 years, yeah, but
And they said 18-year-old woman.
yeah,
Not
and then
a
I was
teenager.
really just trying to
She's an
get
adult.
what really happened, how did it get to that point where
It's two of one thing. It's one of two things,
Sorry.
rather.
okay,
And that is there's a possibility that there was some activities of one chant where they use voodoo to actually make people lose their consciousness, or she's not mentally stable.
yeah,
Because how can an 18-year-old who is fluent in English, Pidgin English, and Anang not able to identify or give credible information about her relatives or guardians?
Or even locate the place she
That's
stays
weird.
in.
That's very weird.
And Calabar is a place that is very commutable and easy to you can easily locate where you're going to.
Yes.
especially
ask
that
questions.
place I heard she was found. Yeah, I
Yeah.
tried getting
Tinapa
that.
Junction.
Yeah, Tinapa Junction. Man, I keep asking what literally must have happened. So just like you said, that was
For her to
exactly
get there,
what
that
came
means
to my
she
mind.
lives
Yeah.
around
Around that.
8 miles or thereabout.
Yeah. What if she lives around Calabar South, and then all of a sudden, just like you proceed, that it could be that maybe one way or the other she has boarded a one chance, and then
Because
all her
it's seeming
belongings
like
and
she is
everything,
not
or
conscious
she's
of who
yeah,
she
Who
is
she
right
is.
now.
yeah,
Mm.
and probably mentally she is she's passing off, and then at this point in time they should just administer her at the psychiatric hospital first of all, get her brain her head checked
Why are
up,
we concluding?
and then
Why are we concluding this?
Well,
no, those are
I'm
part
not
of the things
I'm
that
not
should
concluding. I'm
somehow.
just saying that this
Well, yes, there
could
should be a
be the
medical
factors
examination done,
because
actually.
it is not normal for an 18-year-old
Year old,
not
yeah.
to know
We're
where
not
she
talking about
lives,
5, we're not talking
where
about
she,
3,
where
we're
her
not talking about
and this release says she's fluent in
English.
Pidgin English and Anang. So she has 3 languages that she's fluent in, but somehow cannot identify where she stays, who her parents or
But
guardians are.
in
That's
a normal
very weird.
in normal circumstance,
Mm.
she's supposed to be examined medically also.
Yeah, that's what we're
She's
saying.
supposed to be examined. You said administer to the psychiatric. I said
Yeah, and be
examined.
examined. It's still the same thing.
There.
You have
Well,
to
I
be
think-
administered there for you to be examined.
No, it can
Eh?
be
No, you can
examined,
examine-
administered.
So they will carry the thing they work out.
No,
You can be
Let them carry
examined
am
there.
there,
No.
go
See, I
first.
feel there's supposed to be a trained medical professional in the Nigerian police force. That their job. It's supposed to be a medical team. And their job is to
That's why
examine
when we are
people
looking
that
at the
were kidnapped
system.
from there. You pick a child up from somebody files a missing child report. Okay, somebody reports that a missing child has been found. The next thing you check in that child, examine the child, whether the child has had any form of concussion, or contusion whatsoever. Examine the child fully.
Mm.
So know whether the child is in their right state of mind before you now release a report out there. So that is the thing that is not adding up at this point, because I don't see why a full-grown woman, 18-year-old, that teenager should be scrapped out. It's just the one is making her a teenager because it's 18. The teen is still behind. But
Under the Nigerian law, she's an adult.
She's an adult, exactly. She should know at least where she lives. You should know where she came from. At least if you say, okay, she was in Calabar South, you should mention Calabar South. I was around that region. So the next thing the police is doing is to look around that region and narrow down the search. This is it's very, very wide.
Or
Or
possibly
could it be that
take her
she's
to
not?
Anna.
No. Could it be that she did not come,
They're not serious.
or she was not based in Calabar? Maybe she just came into Calabar
for a visit,
and maybe they couldn't find her way.
There are ways to look into this. There are ways to investigate properly and look into this thing now.
But then again, if she was not able to locate where let's say she's a newbie in Calabar, she should know the names of the people she's staying with.
Exactly. She should know where.
No, it's okay
the
not to know where.
area.
It's okay not to know where, right? But at least know the names of the people and
give the contact of somebody,
their mobile number. Yes.
Yeah, I'd actually base for her to be examined medically first before you can ask questions, because you can ask that question and she tells you something and you end up engaging in a wild goose chase. That's if she is not in her right state of mind. But I feel like she should be examined medically first before any other drastic decision is taken. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, this is a very sad story. Whenever you're going out, ensure that you tell somebody where you're going to.
Yeah.
A friend of mine texted me the other day and was like, she entered the vehicle and she was almost stabbed in the vehicle. What happened? Okay, she got into the cab and she was in the middle. Oh, no, she was towards the door, and the driver and one passenger were talking, and what they were saying was making no sense. Like they were arguing about something that made no sense, and she realized that she was losing consciousness while they were talking.
Are you serious?
She was losing her consciousness while they were talking, and that's when she realized that listen, this is not
a normal
this is not a normal cab. And she now tried to struggle, and they're like, "Madam, what's they do now? What's in the?" She now told them, "If you don't open this door, I will shout." She now forcefully opened the door. I think she punched the windscreen, something like that. But she forced her way out of the vehicle, and when she got down, that's when she regained her consciousness.
Ha!
I'm like, wow.
Ha!
Wow.
You know that some things are not logical in this Nigeria, Sha. What do you mean?
No, I've heard people say, recount their own experiences too. And it always involved having conversation that one time my pastor's wife then said the same thing happened to her, that she went to withdraw money from the bank and the money was in her bag. She sat in front and the driver and the passengers were discussing, but somehow like the discussion did not make any sense. But she just found herself so glued to the conversation, and while she was listening keenly, she was losing consciousness and she was robbed.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So that
So
means you can't rule out the spiritual in
no, you can't.
this
No, absolutely
aspect.
not. Absolutely
Because
not.
we keep doing this thing where we just want to think of the logical aspect. Because thinking spiritually or thinking in that aspect would make you look like you don't know what you're saying or you're dumb or anything. There are people
It's
that
when
are
you
falling
experience it
for
that
touch
you
and
realize
follow.
that
Mhm.
it's not just
The
about
people
logic.
that are falling for touch and follow.
Mm.
Before I've had a lot of experiences where someone touch them and then they'll move. Then when they regain their consciousness, they're in the middle of where they do understand the way they don't know. So can't rule out the spiritual, but the logical should be ruled out first. Before we thread that line to show that
True.
okay, we are going from we are ruling out a lot of things from all perspectives, not just one-sided.
Well, we hope that the relevant authorities do their best to ensure that she is reunited with her family and her guardian. Anyway, that's much can take on the top story segment. We're going back to the music. When we come back, we're moving straight to the conversation of the day. This is The Door by Teddy Swims. Stay very close to your radio set. We'll be back before you know it. By Teddy Swims. Welcome back from that short music break. Time check is 7:27 minutes past the hour of 9, and we're moving straight to the next segment of the morning buzz, and that is the conversation of the day. And today's conversation gives me great joy, honestly, because our favorite person on this show is at it again. Justice Blessing Egu is at it again. She has done another thing that is worthy of applause. Now we have a man gets death sentence by hanging for killing daughter accused of witchcraft in Cross River. The High Court sitting in Calabar, Cross River State, presided by Honorable Justice Blessing Egu, sentenced 51-year-old Apostle Ubong Basi Etam to death by hanging for the murder of his 16-year-old daughter, Deborah Basi. The 16-year-old Deborah Bassi was said to have lived with Down syndrome condition and was falsely accused of witchcraft and killed in February 15th, 2025. Delivering judgment in High Court number 11 in suit number HC/24C/2025 between State versus Ubong Basi Item, Justice Blessing Egu found the defendants guilty of the offense of murder after considering the evidence presented before the court. The court subsequently imposed the statutory sentence of death by hanging. The conviction brings to a close a case that drew widespread public concern and renewed calls for stronger action against the practice of witchcraft branding, particularly against vulnerable children and persons living with disabilities. Now, this story is one that it breaks my heart so much. And I actually do know the person that did this thing. I've actually seen the child. I know where they stay. When I heard that story, I was like, people are deliberately wicked. And the fact that the name Apostle, right? Apostle is being added to his name makes me even more angry, because how are you a man of God? How are you serving God that is full of love, full of mercy, full of forgiveness, and you are doing something this wicked?
Because it feels like he's meting out justice. How would you accuse a child of witchcraft when the child is clearly medically not considered normal? I just heard when I heard.
Do you know how this child died? Okay, so this man locked up the child in a room for about 3 months or thereabout without food and water, and chained the child there.
God.
That's how the child died.
This child suffered. The child suffered while having a medical condition, and they are terminating the witch. See, this story is it's getting to my head. It just, oh my God. And the funny thing is that there's some people that have done it and have not been reprimanded for it. They have not been caught. I like the fact that he has been caught and he's facing the full weight of the law.
Oh, he was reported by his wife. His wife took the whole thing up with the police and, the whole justice system.
Because there's some women that will still support the men and say, the child you gave birth to is who you are saying is a witch. See, all these things make absolutely no sense. And I'll keep on saying that the way we are carrying religion on our head in Nigeria and the Cross River states is alarming. Because the way we carry religion, it hinders our growth most of the time. Because I've said this before, there are institutions in sociology, they will tell you there are institutions of the society. There's the religious parts, there's the education, there's medicine. All institutions, amongst other ones, all institutions work hand in hand to make sure that society grows the way it's supposed to, in the right direction. Now, if one institution is lacking, it will affect the rest.
And one institution cannot overrule the other.
Exactly, because everyone has their part to play, their role to play. I can't do Thompson's work on the show the way he would do it. You can't do my work on the show the way I would do it. Everyone has their role to play. That's why we're unique. And it's the same thing with the institutions. Now, if you use religion to overrule the medical aspect, there are things that have been researched on with years and years of research in the medical field. Years and years have been put into study. People have put into study and said, if somebody behaves in a certain way, if these are the symptoms you see, this is what the child
is suffering from.
Now, because of ignorance, I'll say because of ignorance of the ailment per se, it suits to the religious side. This child has witchcraft, this child has a demon in them. But then I asked the question.
But don't you think, even with medical diagnosis, some people will still do this thing?
So exactly, some people will still do this thing. That's it. For me, I'm like, why not rule out the medical? Why not ask a medical professional what can be done? Why is this child facing this thing? We don't want to kill the ignorance in our society. We want to back it up with religion and keep living in the same bondage. I feel like this is bondage. Ignorance is bondage at this point. Because I don't know, there's a scripture that says, my people perish for lack
Or
of
lack of
knowledge.
wisdom.
And this is exactly what is going on at this point in time. Nobody wants to strive to know more. Why is this child behaving like this? Why am I just feeling it out as just spiritual or religious? We keep using religion to draw ourselves back. The wise people that brought this religion, they know where religion stops and where medicine starts. They know where religion stops and where science starts from. There's some scientists that acknowledge the fact that God is there. There's definitely the spiritual side. Man is made up of body, spirit, and soul. But they know that there's research on it.
No, I value your point. However, I think you've taken it a little bit further. Now let's bring it home. Let's talk about the religious aspect, and in this context, we're talking about Christianity. Now, the Christianity that you're practicing preaches heavily about love, about kindness. So even the spirituality, I mean the Christianity, the religion that you're trying to portray, you're not doing it. Like you're not doing it right, because
I think
religion, I mean Christianity is solely on the foundation of love, unconditional love. And somehow you're an apostle and you birthed a child with Down syndrome and you hate the child to the point where you're actually killing that child. You hate the child to the point where you're branding the child as a witch or as a wizard. And let's ask this question, right? Do you think this verdict will help discourage witchcraft accusation against children in our society? Do you think that this verdict will actually help discourage witchcraft accusations against children in our society? 0809 4444058. I'll take that again, 0809 4444058. You can send an SMS to that number or send a WhatsApp message to that same number and we'll take it right here on the show.
Do you know one thing that just came to my head now? When you ask that question, there's some people that would term it, there's some certain religious people that would term it prosecution of the church, of the Christian church, that we're trying to exterminate witches and they're against it. And so they're prosecuting the chosen of God, the Christians. Let me see, I need to take a deep breath in, because the fact that this child suffered before she died, it's something that is very painful, and it shows ignorance, a whole lot of ignorance. And I like the fact that it's the wife that reported, but then again, didn't the wife have power
to divorced? And he wanted to have custody of all the children. They have more than one child, right? So one out of, I think, three, one out of three or one out of two is the one with Down syndrome. Okay, let's take this call. Hello.
Unica Radio.
Good morning, Mr. Casey.
Ladies and gentlemen, I greet you properly.
Good morning.
Concerned citizen on the line. Right, what I want to contribute this morning is this. As we are talking about this witchcraft, it's all over the country. It's all over. It's not only this state. This kind of thing is happening.
Yeah.
The constitution need to be revisited. You understand? Because they need to revisit our constitution to state it very clearly how the country or how the individual would deal with the issue of witches practice and the juju, because it's not recognized in the constitution. Yes, you can. It's not. You need to state it very squarely and clearly. Look at how and the punishment to be if you find guilty. Because it is in our society now, it's like the whole thing is confusing. Okay, where when a child is possessing and then tie it witchcrafting, and then the next thing is the punishment to take place. So it's very, very sad for hearing this kind of news. The constitution is where the whole thing line on. Even the judge are passing the judgments. That one I cannot say I don't know what he's doing, but the constitution is very to revisit the constitution and then state it very clearly, so that people will know who and how it's going to go about it when the kind of cases arise. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Casey. I think I guess the angle that Mr. Casey is coming from, right? But I also believe that there are laws that prohibit these things. Now, there's murder, and murder is a law. There's assault. Assault is a crime rather. Assault is a crime. Murder is a crime, and it's punishable, highly punishable by the law. Now, in this case, this individual, this alleged apostle, committed an offense or a crime, and that is murder, and he's going to be hung because of it. He's going to face the consequences of, and thank God it wasn't even life imprisonment. This is such a very a very
Wow.
very
That is just
solid
a kind of a
ruling.
conclusion to all of that. But I literally want to look at it at this angle that I think I don't really think I believe he was depressed in the sense that he has tried to convince his members that he has the power to heal, and then on Sunday services or probably healing weeks or healing days, during those weekly
Is
services,
it in his power to heal?
well, and then maybe he has tried to pray for a lot of persons, and those ones got healed. And then he was not able to do it in his own family. And then I've thought about scripturally. I have seen a lot of families. The God of Adam, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. All of these guys, all of these top men of men of God that we've read about their histories in the Bible, we could see that they had a lot of family problems. They were not because, oh, you were a prophet of God and so you were immune to challenges in the society or even in the family settings. They all had family issues. Do you understand? But here we have a generation that people think you must overdo that to show to your followers that, oh, you have the powers and
Like
all of
once you are
that.
not normal,
So
you are not a human being.
you understand? So
possessed.
and then you maybe he has been performing a lot of miracle and he doesn't work in his own child, and he decided to take through that particular route, which is
Which brings me back to what I said earlier. The foundation of Christianity is what? Love. Okay.
And so I think that would have been the best thing that he would have actually applied. And then this is somebody who has, in quote, divorced. So what actually happened? In fact, you could see that this is why I say you see why they should work on psychiatric hospitals, so that a lot of persons, literally, I've said this before on the radio show, that in our society, I think we should have a policy that every 3-6 months people should be required to, we should have this card there should be a system where you should actually go and check your head, because at some point in time, maybe the cost of living, lack of jobs, and just waking up. Sometimes I wake up each morning and just realize that Nigeria is the world capital, headquarters of poverty, and my head would just hit beam. Do you understand? So I think there is a lot going through somebody's a lot of people's head. But this particular man, you've committed a crime, so you must have to pay for it.
I feel like we should also look at it from this perspective too. To all parents that feel like their child is, because the child is not like other children, that the child is possessed or a witch.
Failing to understand that you, on the other hand, you were supposed to check yourself before you go and do that thing.
See,
bring a child.
I want to charge you to be more educated. Be more educated on what your child has, or what your child is suffering from. Because that child.
But it should even start from you as a man and as a woman. You should check yourself properly before you go in again.
Down syndrome is caused, there are a lot of types, and it's caused by random error in cell division that results in extra full or partial copy of chromosome. So extra chromosome added to it, and most of the times it's random, it's error. Most of the times it can be caused by mutation. There are a lot of various causes. Now we want a situation where you know that your child was born with this. You went through antenatal, they showed you that, okay, your child may, there's a possibility that your child may have this disease or have this syndrome whatsoever. It's possible that this is happening. They will educate you on it, ask for education on it. You are educated on it. When you deliver the child, educate your husband should also follow you on this education, because there's some antenatals that the husbands don't participate in it. And that's where the issue comes from. Because a child is a sickler, for example. Now, a father can come out and say it's the mother that caused it. Meanwhile, it's both parents. Or a child is a female. The father says it's the mother that caused it. The mother, there's a reason why the child is female, because she's female and female will breed female. Forgetting that it's the male that determines the gender of the child. We need more education to reach the basic medical centers. You can't find antenatal. There should be times when couples sit down and be educated on what they should expect when they have children, so that some of these things will not happen. You won't blame the mother, you won't blame the child for the child's ailment. I mean, this child just came into the world and found herself that way. and she's now being blamed for it, that she's a witch, she's possessed or something. We should be more educated on this. Don't let ignorance rule and have its way in our society, because it's one of the things that is meeting us. One of the reasons why at some point in time, the West people from West